Hello and welcome to the short Vort on the Parshios of Mattos-Massei. I'm Efraim Levy and we're about to end Sefer Bamidbar. In Perek Lamed Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Aleph, it says Zos Chukas HaTorah. These are the decrees of the Torah. And in Rav Chaim Kanievsky on the Torah, on this area, it shares some of experiences and questions that were asked of Rav Chaim Kanievsky. And one thing that's topical is this is the time of year that's Bein Hazmanim for the Bachrim, Kolim. So Rav Kanievsky was asked, what should people study during Bein Hazmanim? And he said that they should not be studying any less than they were beforehand. The difference between Bein Hazmanim and the regular Hazmanim is they get to deviate from the topics that the yeshivos prescribed. Now you can get to choose your favorite topics and learn them. Of course, there's time for refreshing as needed. He also discussed about how he learned as a child, and his father, the Stipler Gaon, taught him Chumash and early Nevi'im, and the first thing they did was only Psukim, just for us Americans would be teaching it into English, translating it into English, but without commentaries. It was only later that he added on commentaries such as Rashi and Mitzudos for the Navi. And also an interesting point, there's a lot more, but we have two parshios to cover. And for his bar mitzvah, his father wanted him to write his own bar mitzvah drasha, but he wasn't able to. And therefore his father showed him a couple of sources to use, and then Rav Kanievsky was able to make the drasha. The reason I share this is, this is the Sar HaTorah, the Prince of Torah today, Gadol Hadar, and I remember reading somewhere to the effect that someone who was a friend of his when they're both younger said that Rav Chaim Kanievsky wasn't the smartest or the most brilliant of the students then, but I think what he had said, and I haven't been able to reconfirm it, but that he was constantly studying, that he was constantly learning. And as we said last week in Parshas Pinchas, his father was the best student in Nevardak because he was Mavakesh. He kept on seeking to learn and to grow in Torah. So that was the same thing with with Rav Kanievsky, and it's something that we should all realize that, don't get discouraged just because we're not the best student, just because we can't write a drasha on our own. We should keep on going. Moving on, traveling to Massei. So in Perek Lamed Gimel, Pasuk Aleph and Beis, so it says Elam Massei B'nei Yisrael. These are the travelings of the B'nei Yisrael, the journeys. Vayichtov Moshe es motzehem l'maseihem, and Moshe wrote their goings forth and their journeyings al pi Hashem, according to the words of Hashem. So this parsha discusses the 42 different places that the Jews encamped. Rashi says that this shows us the kindness of what Hashem did for the Bnei Yisrael in the desert, because they couldn't just wandering nonstop, never encamping. But if you look at the actual camp, you have 14 places in the first year, 8 places in the last year. That means during the remaining 38 years, there's only 20 different moves. So, close to once, only a little bit less than every 2 years. This way people could settle down and relax and the like. The Rav Chaim HaKadosh on Pasuk Beis says that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu at the beginning of Yetzias Mitzrayim that I want you to record all the travels of the Bnei Yisrael, what's going on. So he did that all the way through Arvos Moab, which was the 42nd camping. And as a result of writing down the record, he wrote down the 48 Psukim discussing the encampments and the various travails and challenges that we had in several of those places. Rav Pam says that from this Rav Chaim we could learn a lesson that Moshe Rabbeinu kept what you might call a diary of what went on in the desert. And this is a way to remember, as Rashi says, that this was showing a way to teach us the kindness that Hashem did for us. We didn't constantly have to travel. Hashem took care of every time we had a need, desire, an issue. Hashem came through. He brought the slav, he brought the man, whatever, the water, all these different things. Hashem is there showing us kindness. So Rav Pam says that we should remember for ourselves that we should keep a diary of what goes on in our lives, the different incidents, especially the good things that we recognize as good. Other things we might not realize that they're good until later. And this way, over time, we're going to forget about different incidents. But if you write it down with a written record, then you'll be able to say, oh yeah, this is what Hashem did for me. This was really good, and this is great. So thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.